When you love a sitcom, you expect the actors behind your favorite characters to be just as warm and funny in real life. But sometimes the people who make you laugh on screen turn out to be anything but friendly when the cameras stop rolling. From outright refusing to acknowledge fans to creating toxic environments for everyone around them, these sitcom stars have built reputations that are the complete opposite of the lovable characters they played. Here are 10 sitcom actors who reportedly treat their fans like trash. Chevy Chase, the man who made everyone miserable. Chevy Chase played the lovably clueless Pierce Hawthorne on Community, but his real-life behavior was far from lovable. According to multiple cast members and crew, Chase made the set of Community an uncomfortable place to work. He reportedly used racial slurs toward castmate Donald Glover during filming, with creator Dan Harmon later saying that Chase was jealous of Glover's talent and tried to throw him off his game. When director Marina Zenovich sat down to interview Chase for a documentary, he told her within minutes that she wasn't bright enough to figure him out. The documentary became infamous for showing just how rude Chase could be, even to someone trying to tell his story. Joel McHale, his Community co-star, summed it up perfectly when he said that Chase stopped hurting his feelings back in 2009. Chase himself admitted he didn't want to be surrounded by his castmates at the table every day and felt happier being alone. When asked about his reputation for being difficult, Chase told CBS Sunday Morning that he doesn't give a crap what people think. The biggest issue is that Chase seems completely unaware of how his behavior affects others, or he simply doesn't care. Jerry Seinfeld, too famous to hug you. Jerry Seinfeld created one of the most beloved sitcoms in television history, but his interactions with fans can be downright cold. The most famous example came when singer Kesha approached him on a red carpet and asked for a hug. Seinfeld refused her 3 times in a row, saying no each time with increasing firmness. While he later explained he has a strict no-hugging rule, the interaction was painful to watch. According to Danny Zoldan, co-owner of stand-up New York Comedy Club, Seinfeld is one of the comic's most notably rude to fans and audience members. Whenever fans approach him at the club, he reportedly shows no interest, turns his back, and walks away. Seinfeld has openly stated he doesn't engage with normal people and is only curious about funny or weird individuals. During interviews, he's been known to snap at journalists who ask questions he finds stupid, including a notorious blow-up at Larry King. Comedian Kathy Griffin recalled approaching Seinfeld at a party and asking for advice, only to have him respond that he didn't have time for that and walk away. Lisa Kudrow from Friends shared that when she met Seinfeld at a party and said hello, he responded by saying she was welcome, then explained that Friends benefited from airing after Seinfeld in the summer. His entire attitude suggested she owed him gratitude rather than deserving a normal greeting. While some fans report positive interactions, many more describe him as dismissive and arrogant. Katherine Heigl, speaking out or just speaking. Katherine Heigl played the beloved Izzy Stevens on Grey's Anatomy, but her reputation took a massive hit after a series of public controversies. In 2008, she withdrew her name from Emmy consideration, stating she didn't feel she was given good enough material that season to warrant a nomination. While this might have been an honest assessment, it came across as a public slam against the show's writers. The following year, she appeared on The Late Show with David Letterman and called the working conditions on Grey's Anatomy cruel and mean, complaining about the long 17-hour workdays. Creator Shonda Rhimes was reportedly furious about these public comments. When Rhimes later discussed her show scandal, she pointedly said there are no Heigls in this situation and that she doesn't put up with nasty people. Heigl also criticized the movie Knocked Up, calling it a little sexist despite starring in it. While some of her complaints were later validated by co-star Ellen Pompeo, who said Heigl was ahead of her time in calling out working conditions, the damage to her reputation was already done. Heigl later admitted she was terrified to speak up on sets after the backlash, even wearing shoes that were too small because she was afraid of being labeled difficult again. Looking back, Heigl seems to have been punished for being outspoken rather than actually being cruel to fans. But her public criticisms of projects she worked on created an image problem that followed her for years. Ellen DeGeneres, Be Kind, was just for show Ellen. DeGeneres built an empire on the motto, "Be kind to one another," which makes the allegations against her even more shocking. In 2020, BuzzFeed published an exposé featuring current and former employees of the Ellen DeGeneres show who described a toxic workplace filled with racism, fear, and intimidation. While the specific allegations targeted her executive producers, many felt Ellen should take responsibility as the host and face of the show. Multiple employees said they were instructed not to speak to Ellen if they saw her around the office. Former DJ Tony Okungbowa, who worked on the show for years, confirmed he experienced and felt the toxicity of the environment. One employee said they were fired the week they returned from medical leave after a suicide attempt. According to reports, employees who were more likable and willing to work 10-plus-hour days without complaint received gifts like new iPhones and JetBlue gift cards, while others were left feeling depressed and horrible. Ellen later apologized to staff, saying she was sorry the show had become a machine rather than treating people as individuals. In her Netflix special For Your Approval, she joked that she got kicked out of show business for being mean, but acknowledged the allegations consumed her for a long time. Fresh accusations in 2025 claimed Ellen fostered a hostile workplace where staffers lived in fear, with one former cameraman describing what crew members called the infamous Ellen gaze, which another staffer described as a queen searching for her next execution. Charlie Sheen, winning at being difficult. Charlie Sheen starred as Charlie Harper on 2.5 Men for 8 seasons, becoming the highest-paid actor on television. But his behavior behind the scenes became increasingly erratic, culminating in a very public meltdown in 2011. After entering drug rehabilitation, Sheen went on a profanity-laced tirade against series creator Chuck Lorre, making outrageous claims and coining phrases like tiger blood and winning. His rants became so extreme that CBS fired him from the show. Sheen then turned his anger toward his replacement, Ashton Kutcher, calling him lame on social media and asking him to quit barfing on his old brilliant show. Years later, Sheen admitted he was stupidly mean to Kutcher and should have been nicer, acknowledging that he was more into his own ego than aware of Kutcher's difficult situation taking over the show. During his meltdown period, Sheen's behavior wasn't just directed at producers and co-stars. His public interviews were wild and unpredictable, and his addiction issues made him volatile. Sheen has since gotten sober and expressed regret for his actions, saying there were 55 different ways he could have handled the situation, and he chose number 56. While he was reportedly professional on set during his years on 2.5 Men, his public behavior and treatment of people during his spiral was nothing short of destructive. Roseanne Barr. From groundbreaking to grounded, Roseanne Barr created and starred in one of the most groundbreaking sitcoms of the 1980s and 90s. Her show, Roseanne, was praised for portraying a realistic working-class family. But Barr's behavior over the years has been controversial at best. In 2018, after a successful revival of Roseanne that earned massive ratings, Barr posted a racist tweet comparing former Obama aide Valerie Jarrett to the offspring of the Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes. ABC immediately canceled the show, with the network calling her statement abhorrent and repugnant. The show was rebooted as The Conners, with Barr's character killed off via opioid overdose. Before the tweet that ended her show, ABC executives were already concerned about Barr's behavior on social media, as she had a history of posting support for conspiracy theories. Even during the original run of Roseanne, there were reports of difficult behavior. Barr fired her own sister Geraldine, who had served as her manager, leading to a $70 million breach of contract lawsuit. On set, Barr reportedly clashed with writers and producers throughout the show's run. While she was celebrated for pushing boundaries and advocating for representation, her inability to control her public statements ultimately destroyed the revival of her most famous work. Lea Michele, making Glee, anything but gleeful. Lea Michele played Rachel Berry, the ambitious theater kid on Glee, but according to numerous co-stars, her off-screen behavior was even more diva-like than her character. In 2020, co-star Samantha Ware accused Michele of making her first television gig a living hell, claiming Michele told other cast members she would defecate in Ware's wig if given the opportunity. Ware also mentioned other traumatic microaggressions that made her question her career in Hollywood. After Ware spoke out, multiple other Glee cast members came forward with their own stories. Heather Morris, who played Brittany, confirmed that Michele was very unpleasant to work with and should be called out for treating others with disrespect for as long as she did. Morris later explained that the cast was scared to report Michele's behavior to Fox executives because they didn't feel it was their place. Dabier Snell claimed Michele wouldn't let him sit at a table with other cast members because he didn't belong there. Alex Newell and Amber Riley both showed support for Ware's allegations through social media. The late Naya Rivera wrote in her memoir that Michele started ignoring her completely and didn't say a word to her for all of season 6. Even Matthew Morrison, who played Mr. Schuester, was asked about Michele's behavior during interviews. Michele later apologized on Instagram, saying whether it was her privileged position or her immaturity and being unnecessarily difficult, she was sorry for her behavior. However, many former castmates have never publicly forgiven her, and only one Glee co-star, Jonathan Groff, attended her Broadway debut in Funny Girl. Michael Richards, the meltdown that changed everything. Michael Richards became one of television's most beloved characters as Cosmo Kramer on Seinfeld. His physical comedy and unique delivery made him a fan favorite for 9 seasons. But in 2006, Richards had a career-ending meltdown during a stand-up performance at the Laugh Factory in Los Angeles. After being heckled by audience members, Richards launched into a racist tirade, repeatedly using racial slurs and making references to lynching. The incident was captured on video and quickly went viral. Richards appeared on The Late Show with David Letterman via satellite to apologize, but the apology came across as awkward and insincere, almost humorous rather than genuinely contrite. The video of the apology was replayed and ridiculed endlessly. While longtime friend Jerry Seinfeld offered support and Richards eventually expressed deep regret for his actions, his career never recovered. Fans today tend to have fond memories of Kramer while preferring to forget Richards himself. The incident highlighted how quickly a beloved actor can destroy their reputation with a single outburst. Richards later explained he was caught off guard and thought his dry sense of humor would be received differently. But there was no walking back the damage. The meltdown serves as one of the most dramatic examples of an actor imploding their own career through poor treatment of an audience. Bill Cosby, America's dad, becomes America's nightmare. For more than 4 decades, Bill Cosby was celebrated as America's dad thanks to The Cosby Show, which ran from 1984 to 1992. The sitcom was a timeless sensation that broke barriers in representation and highlighted positive family dynamics. But everything came crashing down in 2014 when comedian Hannibal Buress called Cosby out for past allegations during a stand-up routine. Once media scrutiny intensified, over 60 women came forward accusing Cosby of sexual misconduct spanning decades. His personal brand collapsed under years of investigations and trials. In 2018, Cosby was convicted, though the conviction was later overturned on a procedural technicality in 2021. Throughout the legal proceedings, Cosby maintained his innocence, claiming the trial was a setup and describing jurors as imposters. The allegations painted a picture of a man who used his fame and power to prey on women, a stark contrast to the warm father figure he played on television. Cosby's name is now permanently damaged, often mentioned alongside other disgraced Hollywood figures. The gap between his public persona as a wholesome family man and the allegations against him represents one of the most shocking falls from grace in entertainment history. Decades of goodwill were destroyed as the truth about his behavior emerged. Danny Masterson, that 70s show's dark secret. Danny Masterson played the dim-witted but lovable Stephen Hyde on that 70s show for all 8 seasons. Behind the scenes, however, Masterson's behavior was anything but lovable. In 2023, Masterson was convicted of raping 2 women in incidents that occurred in the early 2000s at his Hollywood Hills home. The victims testified that Masterson used his position in the Church of Scientology to silence them and intimidate them against reporting the crimes. The trial revealed a pattern of predatory behavior and abuse of power. Masterson was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison. His conviction sent shockwaves through Hollywood and among fans of that 70s show, many of whom had fond memories of his character. Former co-stars were divided in their responses, with some expressing support for the victims while others initially defended Masterson. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis faced backlash after writing letters of support for Masterson during his sentencing, later apologizing for their actions. The case highlighted how actors can maintain public personas that completely contradict their private behavior. For fans who grew up watching That 70s Show, Masterson's conviction was a painful reminder that the people who entertain us on screen can be capable of terrible things in real life. The show's legacy has been forever tainted by his crimes.